thank you for joining me for this review of a JJRC H36 mini quadcopter that I received courtesy of Gearbest. So yes, this is a beginner quad for a beginner. Guideline age is 14 plus. Comes in this nice sturdy little box, okay, in the molded plastic with the quadcopter itself on top and the TX controller on the bottom. Okay, it also comes with 4 spare propellers, and this is the battery charger which you plug into a USB on a computer, or if you have a USB power source to charge the battery. And the battery comes already inserted but not connected, and this connects on to there. So being a beginner quadcopter, we really want to see what the durability is like, because when you're learning to fly you're bound to have a lot of mishaps and crashes. You also want ease of use. You also want to try and have a reasonable flying time, especially with your first quad. Okay, you want it to be quite safe, and we also want to see, you know, if it's got a reasonable range and what happens if it goes out of range. Okay, and most importantly of all, is it enjoyable to fly? Okay, so first of all, let's have a look at durability, and straight away I'm actually quite impressed. Okay, because quite uniquely these already have what is called prop guards attached. Now if we compare this and we have a look at an FQ777 951W, you can see the prop guards are quite different. Okay, so there's room here, but these are quite well protected, so you know this could still possibly hurt somebody, but these are quite well encased. So this for a beginner, and if you're concerned about safety, is very good. Okay, you'll notice as well, quite uniquely, these propellers have 4 blades as opposed to 2. Okay, now this one has an additional camera and is also FPV, but just to show you the advantages for safety. So yes, this definitely looks very durable. I'm actually quite interested to see how these little propellers are going to perform and fly. But yes, you know, you really need to get something fine in for this if you accidentally hit someone to hurt anyone. So there, it looks very impressive, a really nice little style, shape, design. It's all plastic. Okay, and another thing, this, now most quads, if you want to sort of get to the insides for any reason, you have to undo screws and it can be quite complex. But with this little one, you just, there's a little clip over here, you just pull that out, and on both sides, and you can see what it looks like inside, particularly if you're interested in it. So this is what we call the sort of PC board, and that this little thing here is the aerial antenna that connects this to the controller, and then you can see your motors are soldered on over there. So yeah, you don't really have to start doing a lot to take it apart and have a look. So this is really a good shape and a good design for durability and for safety. Okay, so ease of use. Now the first thing for ease of use should be an instruction manual that is not complicated, and unfortunately this instruction manual is far from easy to read. It's actually very complicated. Okay, for a beginner. I've seen quite a few instruction manuals and this is not impressed, you know, especially when it tells you what the transmitter functions are. I'm not going to read it out to you, but there. Okay. One good thing it does tell you, however, you know, how to insert the batteries. It tells you how to do the calibration, which is quite important because this is a 6-axis gyro, and calibrating, you know, helps you fly better and gives the craft good balance. Although they, just to give you an example, they call this gyroscope collaboration. Okay, not calibration, collaboration. That'll just give you an idea what this manual is like. Okay, and then a little bit of help if you need to change propellers or install blades. Otherwise, it's trying to tell you how to fly it, but if you can't understand how the controls work, because that doesn't make any sense, the rest of it doesn't really make any sense. Okay, so you've got to apply a little bit of logic here, and if you do decide to get this, hopefully this video will help you get off on the right foot. So very disappointing. If you're going to bring out a beginner craft, make sure your instruction manual is clear, concise and simple. Okay, so sorry JJRC, impressed with a lot of your products but not impressed with that manual. Okay, so this is quite light. It only comes in at with the battery, oops, sorry, $22 grams. Okay, and although it feels quite light and it's plastic, if we look at this little one that's got a camera on it as well, this one only comes in with the battery at 20 grams. Okay, not such a big difference, but yeah, that just gives you an idea of the weight. Okay, so ease of use. You've got the battery, so this slides into here. Now this battery is a 3.7 volts 150 mAh battery. Okay, this should give a flying time of around 5 to 6 minutes, but we'll test and see. And the range of this is about 30 meters, which is not bad, because considering it's such a small quad, you know, anything beyond 30 meters would be very difficult to see the orientation in any case. So the battery slides in here quite comfortably, and then once you plug it in onto here, which we'll do now. Okay, but first of all, let's just have a quick look and see, does this battery come fully charged, or do you really need to charge it before you fly it? Okay, this battery has come in at 94%, so almost fully charged. You can fly it, or else, you know, always wise, just in case it comes in lower, charge it up fully before you fly. So once you plug this in, by plugging it in, actually secures the battery into position. So it's a little bit finicky, and there we go. Okay, so we see two lights. See a flashing red light here and a little blue light there. Other than that, we actually don't see any other lights. So to fly this, we can't really rely on the lights for orientation because they're not big and they don't seem there. So with this, one would have to rely on the style and the design of the craft to see orientation. Okay, so you need two AA batteries that fit into the back here, and then this clips in securely here. It looks as though you need a screw to secure it, but I don't see any screw that has come with this, but don't worry, this latch is quite secure and fine. To power this on, that's the power button there. So now this is where the instruction manual is no help at all. Okay, it tells you, this is to control, go up, down, whatever. This is the on-off switch. Now, this is your forward and backward trim. You don't really need it, you shouldn't really need it with it being a 6-axis gyro if you do your calibration properly. But yes, when it takes off, if it's going too far forward or too far back, you can press this and reverse it to change this. And then this is for the side trim. Now where it gets confusing is, is this the headless button? Is this a flip button? And it really doesn't tell us. So we're just going to have to, test and see in the field and try and work it out there. So before we go out and fly it, I also want to see what will happen if this loses contact with the controller. So if you go further than 30 meters, if it goes that far, you lose range. So we'll get the propeller spinning. Okay, and then we'll switch the power off. 1001, 1002. Okay, so that's quite good, because if it does go out of range, after about 2 seconds, it's going to drop. Where it is, it's not going to continue and fly away. Let's just switch it back on and see if it'll bind automatically. You'll see the lights are flashing. Got it bind up and down. The lights are gone solid, and it can rebind. So yes, if you can't see it, you can, and it's still got sufficient battery power on the quad, you can try and listen for the sound of the motors or any noises to see if you can hear it instead. So yes, now the most important thing, let's see how nicely it flies. So bear with me and we'll take it out and see. Okay, so let's see how the JJRC H36 flies. I've connected the battery, turn the TX on, okay, bind with it, throttle lever up and down, test, okay, motor's going, calibrate, keep the throttle lever down, bring the right lever to the bottom left corner, that's calibrated. And let's see what the JJRC H36 looks like at night. Okay, so no little lights aren't too easy to see at night. Okay, the front is the blue light. Bring it around, back. Okay, if you keep it above you, still can see okay. But yeah, I wouldn't say it's a great night flyer. I know, a little bit difficult to see orientation unless it's very close by. Oh well, doesn't mind flipping at night. Hope you can see it. Oops, up. Up. Okay, not a great night flyer.